I want you to imagine a world where the absolute most powerful person in the entire government isn't a politician.
Right, or even like a general with the biggest army.
Exactly. Instead, this person is a 10th century astronomer, basically a quantum physicist.
And very possibly the world's first true master spy.
Today, we are opening up a really wild stack of sources.
It's a fun one today.
It really is. We're looking at historical texts and official government logs from Heian, Japan, specifically detailing the life of Seimei.
Plus, we've got this deeply detailed encyclopedia entry breaking down the ancient divination tool, the I Ching.
Yeah, and in this completely bizarre twist of fate that perfectly illustrates our theme, we actually hit an error log from a modern internet security firewall while researching this.
A literal Cloudflare block.
A literal Cloudflare block. So our mission today is to figure out the why. Like, was Seimei a brilliant scientist, a sorcerer, or the world's first intelligence officer waging information warfare?
But to get to that why, we first have to set the stage. You have to understand the world he was operating in.
Right, the Heian court, which ran from 794 to 1185 AD.
Situated in Heian-kyo, which is modern-day Kyoto.
And this place was completely obsessed with aesthetics. It was a grid city modeled on Chinese geomancy, built on rigid hierarchy, and just a lot of poetry.
A staggering amount of poetry. But underneath all that extreme refinement, you had a society living in absolute terror.
Because of the spirits, right?
Yeah, the Goryo, vengeful spirits. The nobility genuinely believed invisible, malicious entities were causing plagues, structural fires, you name it.
So when you hear about spirits and geomancy, you instantly picture some underground robed magic cult chanting in a basement somewhere.
Totally, like a secret coven.
But our sources shatter that illusion completely, because Seimei wasn't a rogue wizard. He worked for the Onmyōji Bureau.
An actual government agency.
Yeah, a massive fully official department under the Ministry of the Center. They had over 80 salaried professionals working there.
Which is wild to think about. It was basically a national weather service mixed with an intelligence agency.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because his curriculum wasn't what we'd consider magic. To them, it was natural science.
Hard science, yeah.
He had to master the 5 elements, the Wu Xing, understanding how wood, fire, earth, metal, and water all build the physical world.
And he had to learn highly advanced math.
Right, and then synthesize all of that by mastering the I Ching, the Book of Changes.
Which is such a massive undertaking. The I Ching is essentially the operating system running in Seimei's head.
Where does the I Ching actually come from again?
Well, the text originates in the early Zhou dynasty, so around 1046 to 771 BC. It evolved from this older Shang dynasty practice of burning animal bones or tortoise shells.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'd apply heat and read the cracks. But the I Ching took that chaotic practice and turned it into a strict mathematical system using 64 hexagrams.
And we have a factual quirk from our source on those hexagrams that we need to point out. A hexagram is basically a stack of 6 parallel lines, right?
Yes, exactly 6.
Well, our encyclopedia source says the broken line, the one with a gap, represents yang, and the unbroken solid line represents yin.
What's fascinating here is that anyone familiar with Taoist philosophy is going to immediately catch that. It's totally backwards.
Wait, really? It's usually the other way around.
Yeah, typically the solid line is the active yang energy, and the broken line is the receptive yin. So this could be a mistranslation in the source, or maybe a localized, esoteric Japanese variation.
Interesting. But either way, the math works the same. It's binary code.
Mm-hmm.
But how are they actually generating this code? Like, they weren't just flipping a coin.
No, it was this intense physical algorithm. You used 50 thin bamboo sticks, or yarrow stalks.
50 of them.
Right. You set one aside to represent the universe. Then you rapidly divide the remaining 49 into 2 bundles, heaven and earth.
Okay, I'm following.
Then you constantly sort them by 4s to represent the seasons. And the mathematical remainders you get at the end of this sorting give you a specific number.
And that number tells you what kind of line to draw for your hexagram.
Exactly. You do that entire sorting process 6 times to build one single hexagram.
That is just intense. I mean, to go through all that math to answer a question. But here is where I push back a little on the philosophy.
Okay, let's hear it.
The source says heaven was viewed as this absolute being making judgments. Like, the 26th hexagram literally means heaven's bliss is given.
Right, implying a judgment.
Yeah, so how does a rigidly scientific astronomer rely on a universe that just hands out bliss whenever it feels like it? That sounds like a totally unpredictable universe.
Well, see, the text actually addresses that perfectly with the 11th hexagram. The I Ching rejects randomness entirely.
How so?
The 11th hexagram states, and I quote, "Everything flat will be inclined, and everything gone will be come back."
Oh, so it's all a cycle.
Exactly. It's an endless, constantly changing machine. Seimei wasn't asking heaven to grant him a favor. He was basically running a diagnostic check to see where the machine was currently at in its cycle.
Okay, that makes so much sense. And that ability to calculate the cycle is the why. It perfectly explains his political rise.
Time literally equaled power back then.
Right. And Seimei breaks all the rules of his era. He wasn't from some top-tier noble family. He was just a technical expert.
Which was usually a ceiling for your career in Heian-kyo.
Exactly. But look at the dates. He's a mid-level officer in 960 AD. By the 970s, he gets promoted to Doctor of Astronomy.
A huge leap.
And by 1000 AD, he achieves the junior 4th rank lower grade. For a guy with no elite pedigree, that is unprecedented.
Well, he achieved it because he never messed up his job. And his job was high stakes.
Think about your job right now. Imagine if you got a math problem wrong at work, and instead of a bad performance review, you got publicly executed.
That is a stressful Tuesday.
It really is. But in an era without mechanical clocks, predicting time and solar eclipses was everything. If an eclipse happened and you didn't predict it, it meant the emperor lost the mandate of heaven.
Total political panic. Miscalculating was fireable, or like you said, executable.
And Seimei never missed. Not once. But here's where we start getting hints that maybe he wasn't just doing standard math.
He was just doing math theory. You don't banish a math equation to live under a bridge.
Right, you banish a physical entity.
Exactly.
It really blurs the line between science and sorcery.
This raises an important question, though, and we have to go back to the I Ching for this.
Hexagrams.
Yeah. The literal meaning of the 63rd hexagram is already finished. But the book doesn't end there. The 64th and final hexagram means not finished.
Meaning the process never stops.
It's an endless cycle. And when you think about our modern world, this endless cycle of data collection, are today's algorithm-wielding tech billionaires really that different from Seimei?
Oh, wow. They basically do the exact same thing.
They gather massive amounts of human data to predict our behavior. They create modern firewalls. They use information as a weapon to control the present.
That is such a wild parallel.
Seimei died in 105 AD, but his legacy didn't die with him. His house is a shrine in Kyoto today, but his actual methods,